instructor for the Hertiage Retrofit Carpentry program. This program is going to build on the basic carpentry skills that you already have. We're going to incorporate that by looking at a heritage home and maintaining, preserving, or conserving as much of that home as we can. My students and I will be working at the CAS Center, a state-of-the-art, purpose-built shop just for this program. But part of the interesting aspect of this class is we're going to work in this 100-year-old home and do the hands-on experience of practical application of what we learn. Here we are at 285 Kent Street. This is a home that Holland College has used as an office space for several years. This home has been retrofitted numerous times. Many of those times they have taken no interest in the architectural integrity of the home. So we need to look at that and see how we can restore that. We're going to look at the home's architectural integrity and try and keep that as intact as possible, all the while incorporating energy efficiency. Energy efficiency is a very hot topic right now in carpentry and is relevant to any carpenter. You can take these skills and work on a home of any age. We just happen to be applying them to a heritage home. Part of the beauty of living in this era is that we could take all the past knowledge of carpenters through our heritage program, use all their techniques, but we also get to incorporate all the modern latest techniques. In my hand is a thermal imager. This gives us a tremendous amount of information about what's inside those walls that we can't readily find out without destroying the house. So I have the unit on. I'm going to pan up and look at the wall. I know from my experience earlier that it's 2 degrees outside. This wall is showing that it's 20 degrees Celsius. As I pan over, and we'll try and get a tight shot on this so all of you people can see this as well, I find a very concise cold spot about the size of the diameter of a softball. When I look outside, that cold spot is 2 degrees colder. When I look outside, that appears to be an old port where a stove was exhausted. When someone covered that up, they didn't bother filling in the insulation. So it's areas like this that were bleeding out heat in the house that we want to rectify to bring this up to the highest energy standards that we can. In this home, we're going to work on 2 main topics, function and aesthetics. Within those topics, we're going to have 3 different projects. Those 3 projects are the mantelpiece, that's purely aesthetics. We're going to look at the stairs, that's both aesthetics and function, and we're also going to look at the windows, those are purely functional. Those 3 areas we've identified as areas in the house that need a lot of work, and we're going to apply that knowledge that we've learned in the classroom to this project. So here's a prime example of a piece in the house that's both aesthetics and function. This is obviously a handrail, and we have the banister, the rail, and the spindles. This is a beautiful example of period woodworking from the island. The problem is upstairs. It's not high enough to meet code. So we don't want to get rid of this, but we do have to correct the problem. Come on up and I'll show you. So here we are at the problem area. The building code clearly stipulates height of railing. We're well below that. This is a safety hazard. If I fell right now, I'd fall a story down. So this definitely needs to be rectified. Again, this is a gorgeous piece of woodwork that we want to save. So how can we incorporate this into a new piece that not only keeps what we have, but incorporates the new building code, therefore all our bases are covered. It's these type of issues that we're going to explore and rectify in our program. So here's our culprit here. These are our spindles. Our spindles are obviously way too low. The spindles set the height of the railing. The problem is these spindles are gorgeous and are to the piece, so we want to save those if we can. There's a couple different options we can do to solve the problem of this railing height. We can remove these spindles, add a splice onto the bottom, and reinsert them to the proper height. Or we can take these spindles, source the same type of wood, put these on a copy lathe, and repeat that exact pattern onto a new spindle that looks exactly the same, match the stain, and then reinsert it. And then therefore, either way we go, we have the proper railing height. Typical to heritage homes, windows are no longer functional. It's imperative for a home of this age for windows to be functional, primarily for ventilation. This window doesn't work for several reasons. The sash cords are missing, The ports that the rope comes out of are painted over. The window is completely painted shut, so it doesn't function at all. Therefore, it's hurting the home, not letting vapor and moisture out of the house, not letting cool breezes through the summer. So these windows need to be at minimum rehabbed. They need to be stripped out, cleaned, repaired. If that's not possible because of the condition of the window, they need to be carefully measured and recorded and replaced overall. Finally, here we are at a place in the home that is an example of pure aesthetics. Clearly, it's a mantelpiece. This mantelpiece is great. It's very unique. It's got 3 different ledges. It's got a couple different styles of corbels. And all that together makes it a very unique piece. So we definitely want to hang on to it. Most homes of this era don't have them anymore. They've been destroyed or removed. So we're lucky to have that. We do have some issues down below though, and I do want to discuss those. So here we are at the actual fire box. The trim pieces that base this in, these have been added in later. These have been added in later to tie in the cast iron piece, which wasn't original, but the owners do like the piece, so we want to incorporate that. The problem is this tile was purchased at a box store. It's fake tile, it's not even real. So we'd like to remove that and put something in more appropriate for the age. So we want to work with that. The hearth as well is the same tile. We want to remove that, bring it back to the era that it would have been. So these are the type of things we're going to look at in the program. As you can see, this Hertiage Retrofit Carpentry program is quite in-depth. To find out more, visit hollandcollege.com.